guide to a healthier mind, thriving beyond health worries. Because, those health concerns can sometimes feel, well, way bigger than they should, kind of overwhelming our thought.
They really can.
So our mission today isn't about ignoring genuine health stuff, obviously, but about empowering you to navigate your well-being with maybe a bit more confidence and calm.
That's right. We're going to unpack some really actionable strategies, evidence-based ones, and modern techniques, too.
Okay.
The goal is to fundamentally shift how you think about and respond to what's often called illness anxiety.
Illness anxiety, right?
Yeah. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that while a little bit of concern is actually good for us.
Sure. Gets you to the doctor.
Exactly. It motivates checkups. But sometimes our body's natural alarm system, which is there to protect us, it can get a bit overzealous, misinterpreting signals that are maybe totally benign.
It's amazing how that system can just go into overdrive like that. So what makes it do that? What sends it into that kind of heightened state?
Well, it's often a complex mix. Things like past experiences, maybe a health scare before, or even deeply ingrained learned behaviors.
Okay.
And let's be honest, that constant stream of online health information we're all swimming in doesn't always help.
Oh, tell me about it. The endless scrolling.
Right. But here's where it gets really powerful, I think. Just recognizing these unhelpful patterns. It's not just seeing the problem. It's like stepping outside that automatic, maybe fear-driven script your brain is running. Suddenly you can observe it.
And change it.
And ultimately, rewrite it. You gain that power.
Okay, so what do these patterns actually look like? How does our mind kind of play these tricks on us?
Yeah, good question. They often show up as common cognitive distortions or maybe simpler thought traps.
Thought traps, I like that.
A classic one is just that gut feeling, there's something seriously wrong with me.
Right, that immediate jump.
Exactly. So if we try to reframe this, the goal is to shift your perspective, maybe towards something more grounded, like, okay, my body is complex. It sends lots of signals. Let me just calmly explore what this sensation actually means.
And it's not just the thoughts, is it? Our behaviors can feed into it too.
Oh, definitely. They can inadvertently reinforce these cycles.
Like, I remember reading about Alex, a graphic designer. After a colleague had a health scare, Alex started constantly checking news about rare illnesses.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. That obsessive research or maybe excessive body checking, constantly scanning for symptoms, that can actually keep you trapped in this loop. It makes the anxiety worse, not better.
Right, it feeds the fear.
Precisely. So instead of that endless, often unhelpful Googling.
We've all been there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The empowered approach is more like, acknowledge the sensation, maybe briefly check a reliable health source if you're genuinely concerned, but then deliberately shift your focus.
Okay, like how?
Well, take Ben, this keen runner. He felt a bit of tingling in his feet. His mind, boom, straight to serious conditions.
Understandable, though.
Totally. But instead of spiraling, he kind of reminded himself, okay, bodies are dynamic, sensations happen. And then he chose to focus on his next run.
So he shifted his attention.
Exactly. Let the anxiety naturally decrease without feeding it more fuel. It's about building a new, healthier habit, really.
So how do we actively challenge these patterns when they feel so ingrained?
Well, a really powerful tool, it comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Okay.
It's sometimes called the 3-step thought challenging blueprint. It's not about ignoring thoughts, but being systematic.
Right.
First, you just identify the anxious thought. What is it? Second, you examine the evidence. What supports it? What contradicts it? Be honest.
Look at the facts.
Look at the facts. And third, you reframe it based on that evidence. So think about David, the entrepreneur. Felt a sudden arm tingle. Immediate thought. Heart attack. Very scary. But he used this blueprint, examined the evidence, recent clear checkup, plus, oh yeah, he'd been hunched over his laptop for hours.
Context.
Context. He reframed it to, okay, my arm is probably just stiff from work. And the anxiety, it started to subside.
That makes so much sense. It's like being a detective for your own thoughts.
Kind of, yeah. And building on that, another fascinating technique, very effective, is called graded exposure.
Graded exposure. Okay, what's that?
It's not about jumping into your biggest fear. It's gradual, controlled. You purposefully bring on mild sensations you fear.
You mean like on purpose?
On purpose, yeah, but gently. To systematically teach your body and mind, these sensations are temporary, they're harmless, you can manage them.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If, say, dizziness is a trigger for anxiety, You might start by just slowly spinning in an office chair for a very short period, just enough to feel slightly dizzy.
Okay.
You learn the sensation passes, you learn you can cope, and your brain gradually gets used to it. It reduces that automatic fear response over time.
Wow. That's that takes courage, but I can see how it would work. It's like retraining your brain's alarm.
Exactly that, retraining the alarm.
It's incredible how these sort of mental tools can make such a big difference. What about modern tech? How does that fit in?
Yeah, technology is interesting here. While you definitely need caution with those generic AI symptom checkers, they can sometimes fuel anxiety.
Right, Dr. Google isn't always helpful.
Not always, but there are genuinely valuable digital tools. Think about mindfulness apps like Calm or Headspace. They can be fantastic for just calming your nervous system, grounding you in the present moment.
Yeah, I use those sometimes.
And telehealth. That's revolutionized access. It makes it so much easier to connect with qualified mental health professionals right from your home. Getting that expert support is key.
That's a huge benefit. Definitely lowers the barrier to getting help.
Absolutely. Ultimately, look, your health journey is unique. It's yours.
Mhm.
And you possess this incredible capacity to transform your relationship with your well being.
That's empowering.
It really is. By understanding these patterns, trying out these techniques, you're not just managing anxiety, you're actively reclaiming your peace of mind. Which I think raises an important question for you listening.
Yeah.
What small, actionable step, maybe just one thing, will you commit to taking today? Something to start embracing a more confident, maybe even more joyful approach to your own health.
At one small step. You've got this. And please remember, the opinions expressed here are just for informational purposes.
That's right. They are definitely not a substitute for professional medical advice or treatment.
Always, always seek the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns you might have.